Good evening and welcome to Charleston, South Carolina for tonight's USL match as the Charleston Battery gets set to host Indy 11 for the very first time at MUSC Health Stadium. Hey everyone, my name's Poppy Miller. I'll be your host for tonight's game. Alongside me, Derek Brawley. Derek, these two teams met earlier this season. It was a 3-3 thriller away. One of the players that played a huge role in the matchup with 2 goals, it's Iose.
Yeah, Iose's a great defender. But it was in this game that he really showed his mettle in the final third with set pieces. As you can see here, he scores a fantastic goal. He also got a penalty on the night. And tonight, the home team, the Battery, is going to have to really watch that they don't concede free kicks in and around the 18-yard box.
He's got 4 goals on the season, the 32-year-old Spaniard, and he has got a very good left foot. One of the players that also played a huge role in that match's storyline, it's Brian Anunga.
Yeah, Anunga's coming off a great season. He's a fantastic midfield player. He's an all-action player, and he can do everything. He can break up in front of the back 4. He can start attacks. And now he's starting to add goals, and he was a big reason why in the last meeting between the two sides that he tied the game up in the last minute. So he's doing very well for the team.
The 21-year-old Cameroonian international generates the attacks, like you said, and has started every single game for Mike Anhauser this season. And you can see him celebrating with his teammates away in Indianapolis. I caught up with him earlier this week to preview the match, and here's what he had to say.
It's going to be pretty hard, you know, because we're trying to find our cohesion, like playing together, you know, finding passes, making good passes, you know, shifting together, being compact, being defensive, and of course we have to finish our chances. I think we just have to shift from side to side, stay compact, you know, and if they're going to have possession, we're just going to sit back maybe and just counter-attack, but I don't think we're going to sit back, we're going to press high, so we're going to take our chances, yeah.
Welcome back to MUSC Health Stadium for tonight's USL match. The Charleston Battery taking on expansion side Indy 11. Poppy Miller alongside Derek Brawley. Thank you for joining us for tonight's match, wherever you are. Well, we are almost at kickoff, but while we have a second, let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups presented by Banner. For Indy 11, Von Williams starts between the 6, Iose at left back, Moses and Mitchell in the middle, and Winnett on the right. Matton and Watson will anchor the middle of the park, Pasha on the left, Guerra on the right, and the 2 strikers tonight, Starikov and Spies. Well, for Mike Anhauser's side, 7 changes to the team that took on North Carolina FC on Saturday. The Cuban veteran Adisnal Cooper returns to the goal. Hackshaw, Mueller and Archer, the 3-man back line, and Nunga will sit just in front of that tonight. Bolt, Arambula and Rittmeyer across the midfield, and the trio up top tonight, Gordon Wild, Patrick Okonkwo and Victor Mansoret. Well, Derek, a midweek game for both these teams, several changes to either lineup, especially for Mike Anhauser, leading goal scorer Atula Guerra on the bench.
Yeah, no, I think it's a case of a lot of games coming thick and fast, and you know, with the weather and the down here in the south being so hot, I think it's a chance to rotate, give some of these players some valuable minutes. You know, people like Jay Bolt and Rick Meyer, they've all been playing steadily, but you know, for Mansoret and that to get his start. Patrick Okonkwo, I think it's going to be good, and then with Gordon Wild getting a good starting position, so freshens up the squad a little bit, and hopefully will keep the results and the performances going as is. The great thing about all this is they're keeping the same system, and again we've spoke about that many times, that having the same system around and just changing the personnel bodes well for a really good game.
Well, we are underway here at MUSC Health Stadium. A fantastic night for some football. And Indy 11 with the possession in the early going. Atlanta United lonely. Patrick Okonkwo with the pressure, but it's a long ball down to Pasha on the far side. Safety first from Leland Archer. The Trinidad and Tobagan makes his 3rd start for Mike Anhauser's side after joining the squad in the second half of this early season. The referee gives a free kick to the Battery. Well, Derek, a lot of changes to Indy 11 as well.
Yeah.
Soon he sat on the bench.
Yeah, no, they've got, as I said, I think it's that stage of the season now. We're hitting the sort of midway point of the season. A lot of players have had a lot of minutes. There's been a lot of travelling from both teams. And this is where you'll see the strength of the squads of these teams now. You know, we know that the Battery operates on a smaller squad than it has done in past years, but for the players that are involved in that, you know, they know at some stage of the season they're going to get minutes. And you know, let's take Angelo Kelly. You know, recently he's made him start into the team. He's given a little rest as well, so you can see that people can come in. The strength of the training is that the system's the same, and although, as I said earlier, the personnel changes, the system doesn't. So these players have been working on this daily, so they'll know. And I'm sure Indy 11 are the same setup.
It's a long ball forward from Indy. Heads away nice and comfortable from Leland Archer. Captain Taylor Mueller. Calm and composed at the back. Some nice combination play. But like you said, Derek, it's also a chance for these players to prove themselves and earn themselves a few more minutes for the rest of the season. Yeah,
I mean, as I said, the one thing that we should see tonight is lots of enthusiasm, lots of energy. From those players that haven't had a start in a while. I mean, let's take Leyland Archer, for example. He's coming in because of Skylar Thomas's injury, and he was playing, 3-4 games ago anyway. So, there should be no problem there. Jay Bolt's had plenty of minutes. Nico Rittmeyer's had like. It's the front three that it's probably the first time we've started with those three, and it'll be interesting to see how they all link up together.
The 3 up top tonight, both Gordon Wild and Victor Mansoret on loan from Atlanta United. And then, of course, Patrick Okonkwo, and then Victor Mansoret joins the Battery for his 1st season. The Sierra Leone native comes from FC Cincinnati, but also has MLS experience. And we can expect them to be quite dynamic up top tonight. Yeah, and
where they're coming into this game, the one thing the Battery has done, particularly at home, is pressed well. So I'm sure that's going to be something that's going to be installed in those 3 that they're going to have to work. Gordon Wild, when he's played, he's linked in with Guerra very well. Now he's got to do the same with Patrick, and he's also got to do it with Victor. So it's going to be interesting to see if they adopt the same work ethic and really try and stop the visitors from playing out from the back.
Both teams very defensively sound, with 7 clean sheets on the season so far. It's going to be a great battle. We mentioned in the pre-game these 2 teams faced each other last month, and it was a 3-3 thriller away at Indianapolis. A massive midweek game then, and one that we can expect again tonight. You can see the sun beating down on that far side, but nice temperatures here in Charleston, South Carolina for tonight's match. The press from Rittmeyer. Pasha Loses it on the far side. That'll bring up a battery throw-in. Back to Mueller. Hackshaw gets his first touches on the ball. Jay Bolt.
It's always a gamble when you make a lot of changes. You know, sometimes it can take a little bit of while just to get back into the rhythm. But I'd like to think the one thing that this formation does bring is a lot of athleticism. You know, with Victor Mansoret and Patrick and Gordon, you've got a lot of pace and power. So, you know, that should be the same again. And they're all good technical players. As I said, just making those runs that they might not have seen before. The back players, a bit like Taylor Mueller, maybe will go a little bit quicker back to front. It'll be interesting to see how the game develops.
The battery enjoying switching the flanks in this early going. Anunga for Hackshaw. Indy 11 dropping back into a nice defensive shape. Jay Bolt on this near side whips one into the box. Okonkwo's there, headed away, and Von Williams can collect. Talking to head coach Mike Anhauser earlier this week, and he's so excited to have this rotation in the squad to be able to give some fresh legs and give these players the chance to prove themselves on the field. And like you said, Derek, with not a very deep squad this year, so crucial to have that rotation. Yeah,
and you don't want to leave players on the bench for too long without them getting some minutes. So, you know, I think it's a bold decision because the results have been good. But as I said, you know, Coach Anhauser must have faith in these players. You know, he works with them every single day. And, you know, people like, as I said, Jay Bolt and stuff, you know, he's a slightly different position for him tonight. But, you know, he's a fully committed player, and I'm sure he'll do very well tonight.
Here's Gordon Wild out for Nico Rittmeyer. The battery on the attack. Rittmeyer running out of space on the far side. Well defended by Indy 11. You can see some Indy fans that have made the trip down here. And a hello to anybody joining us from Indianapolis for tonight's match. Build from the back. The referee sees a bit too much on that challenge from Arambula.
As the game's starting to develop now, you can see straight away that the tactical game that's opened up. You've got a 4-4-2 versus basically a back three, a middle three, and a front three with a floating player. And as I said, you know, it looks right now that the middle's quite tight, and it's going to be dependent on which team can actually unlock the midfield, whether it's down the flanks or over the top. And it's going to be an interesting one for the first 15-20 minutes just to see who, you know, how these teams battle for that supremacy in the midfield.
Taylor Mueller puts one out of the air. Hackshaw comes across. It's Mansoret, brings it down in the midfield. Chip ball out wide to Bolt. Captain Watson drops back to help defend. Sarikov into the middle of the park. The attack could be on for Indy. It's Matten. Back to Moses. Mitchell. All the way across. Ioze, we mentioned him in the pre-game, leads Indy 11 in goals and assists with 5 assists on the season and 4 goals. A very attacking defender, Derek.
Yeah, I think his assists obviously come from his natural position, but his goal scoring exploits come from dead ball situations when he gets forward. You know, we did mention him in the pre-game. He scored some, you know, 2 goals in the previous time these two teams met.
It's Watson getting into the attack. Mueller comes across to cover. And no worries for Additional Cooper. Additional Cooper enters his 6th season with the battery. The Cuban veteran is 8th in all-time appearances with the club. It's been a mainstay for Mike Anhauser at the start of this season and in recent years. Disappointed with that delivery out of the back. Ioze. Back to Amet. Mitchell assessing his options, goes short to Moses, up to Matten. Feel Hackshaw through. And Jay Bolt returns from injury for his first start tonight. And he had a fantastic start to the season, Derek.
No, he did, and you know he was unfortunate with his little. He got a little knocked in. He got that little back injury that interrupted his place. And tonight he started off on the left-hand side, a little bit unusual for him. But as I said, he's a two-footed player. He can whip crosses in. We've already seen one cross go in already this evening. So he is predominantly right-footed. So he's got that option to cut in and whip the ball in swinging towards the goal. As I said, what I'm really looking forward to is seeing how these front three gel together, because there's a lot of pace there, a lot of movement, and I just hope that that the battery can really do a good job of getting the ball and getting them some good possession in behind and in front of the back four, and see how they all combine.
Archer on the far side, into Anunga in the middle. The pressure's on from Spies. The battery enjoying a nice spell of possession in this early going. Bolt and Mansoray combine. Arambula in the middle. Arambula makes his second start for the battery, his 5th appearance this season. The Myrtle Beach native was a USC Gamecock, had a very successful collegiate career, and has been working very well with Anunga in the middle of the park from the games we've seen. Yeah,
no, as I said, the great thing about this battery team is they've got round pegs in round holes, and they can make personnel changes very quickly without affecting the game.
Here's Jay Bolt. He's got space, takes a strike, blocked at the back.
And there's an example there, with Jay Bolt being a right-footed player, he can run across the field, look, and the game opens up, and he can look to get shots on goal. He's got a good fine strike on him, so that's an advantage of having a right-footed player on the left side.
Just saw the replay on the screens there. Fans, let me remind you that Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit www.selectsportamerica.com and receive free shipping on orders over $50.
And what hasn't changed is the way the battery are very patient around the back, aren't they? They've got 3 centre-backs who can all play. They can all, enter into the final third. They're very happy to keep the ball at the back and just move the ball from side to side, play through midfield and look for those openings. And as I said, with the option to go over the top just like that there, it's an option. You just need a bit of a better quality ball.
Just too much on that pass to Bolt. Like you said, Derek, right idea. The battery very confident in getting numbers into the attack.
Sometimes when you play a team that was quite a free-flowing and scoring game in the previous visit, 3-3, sometimes that can have an adverse effect on a game, because the next game then they want to make sure it's a lot tighter and chances might be of a premium.
And of course, all Indy 11's goal from the last match came from set pieces. It's a Conqueror in the box. Great ball in from Jay Bolt. Now Arambula, and no worries there for Fon Williams.
Yeah, great play by Bolt. I think he linked up there with Mansoray. Here it is, a great ball into the box. It comes out. And as I said, Arambula probably just needs to take another touch there before he has that shot. But great interplay down the side here by Jay Bolt. That was excellent.
Fon Williams gets us back underway here at MUSC Health Stadium in the 13th minute. His first season with the side comes from Caledonian Thistle and has started every single game for Martin Rennie this season. Mueller out the back. Anunga uses his body, keeps it in bounds. Good play from the Cameroonian. A very high passing accuracy in the middle of the park, and that's just what you need to spray the ball around. Battery working it out from the back. Long ball forward, looking for Bolt. Intercepted in the middle. And this time Hackshaw will rework it. Archer. Across to Anunga. And here's another example of them playing it around the back and lofting the long ball forward. This time to Jay Bolt. Fantastic ball from Archer. And he can win the throw-in.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, we've seen this many times this season from the home team where they've been very patient out the back and then hit those long diagonal passes in, and they do very well at creating chances from wide areas. Worst case scenario, they get throw-ins and corners, and they're very good from set pieces. So, interested to see how Indy 11, counteract that and try and stop them from playing.
Starikov looking to feed one forward, well read in the middle, and a Disnell Cooper dinks one out from the back. Spies wins the second ball and the free kick opportunity. And we just know how dangerous Indy 11 can be over the dead ball. This one a bit too far out. Of course, all Baker Roofing. All replays brought to you by Baker Roofing.
I'm sure it's going to be Ayu's on the free kick again. I think it's a little bit too far out for a direct shot, but his delivery is very good into the box. And the battery are going to have to be very good on their man marking jobs for these set pieces.
5 assists so far on the season. It's Iose over the dead ball. The battery pulling everybody back to help defend. It's a good ball into the back post. The head's there. Mueller lifts one up and Cooper can collect. But very dangerous, Derek.
Yeah, that was a great delivery again. You see they've worked on that. A great ball to the far post, little nod back, and very brave by Taylor Mueller there to stick his head in where there were some boots flying.
And now the attack could be on at the other end. Fon Williams quick off his line to pull that one from the air.
You can clearly see how the battery are going to try and exploit Indy in this first half. They're trying to, suck them in and then hit them long diagonal balls. Right now, they haven't really found their range yet, but if they do, the speed of the three forwards, particularly Okonkwo, is going to create some sort of chance at some point in the game.
Moses has experience both in the USL and overseas, in Korea, Austria and Switzerland. Started 5 of the 7 games he's appeared in so far this season. Matten combines with Moses on this near side. A good trio in the middle. The pressure's on from Anunga. Guerra brings them out and looks for Starikov.
Anunga does that very well, doesn't he? He picks his moments to trap play as he goes, and I think it was a bit disappointing there that Victor Mansray had dropped off. So here's the free kick again. This is the one to the far post. It was a great delivery, headed back in. I think the referee might have called a dangerous play there had it not fallen into Cooper's hands, but you can see something they've worked on.
The Trinidad and Tobago gets us underway. His 3rd season with the battery and has started all but 1 match for Mike Anhauser. It's Bolt across the box. Gordon Wild's there. One in the middle by Matten. And again, recycled, this time to Watson. Starikov. Indeed, looking for the numbers up. The battery work well to get numbers back behind the ball.
Kept the ball very well there, haven't they? Moses just, trying to look into switch play.
Fans, the USL's Twitter feed keeps you up to date with news, live game updates and highlights from around the league 24/7. Follow @USL on Twitter. Starikov, Hackshaw loses his footing but does just enough. Brian Anunga, fantastic bit of trickery on this near side.
Rambler's done very well there as well to get in a very tight situation and open the plate and give Rickmar a chance to do what he does very well, and that's drive at players.
He goes out wide to Gordon Wild. Wild takes a touch around into the box. And the battery can recycle. Jay Bolt on this near side. Anunga invites Hackshaw into the attack. It's a good ball into the box, runs right through, and a good delivery from Hackshaw.
And I think if Rickmar there just takes a little bit more of a gamble, we'll get to see this again. It's a fantastic ball played in. I think it's Patrick Okonkwo that makes the first run, and he needs someone else making a second run in behind him so he can, he took a defender away there and created a really good chance. Great ball in by Hackshaw.
Von Williams gets the ball back in play. Of course, this is Indy 11's first season in the USL, the latest expansion side, and the first time these two teams meet here at MUSC Health Stadium. Hackshaw forward, Moses flicks one on to Okonkwo. Mitchell does well to defend. Into the middle, Guerra goes all the way home. Low ball out the back. Watson looking for Sarikov. The attack could be on for Indy. Loose ball into the middle of the park. Matten. Iosi picks it up. Matten looking for the distribution, well read by Additional Cooper. That's one of Additional Cooper's strongest points. He loves to get the battery back under play quickly.
Yeah, it's if any young players watching goalies, they're not the last line of defence anymore. They have to be the starting point for attack, and you know Cooper does that very, very well. He's always looking to get the team forward.
Hackshaw for Bolt. Carries on his run. It's a good ball into the back post. Iosi chest down, nice and composed.
Yeah, and the Battery have done a great job of getting balls into the box. What they now need is they need runners, willing runners, to run into the box and get on the end of some of these crosses. Right now, you know, you can't complain about the deliveries. It's good. We just need maybe a midfield player, you know, or one of those strikers just to go. And right now, they just haven't worked out who their runs are. Okonkwo's made the first one. It's the second and third runs that are going to get the benefits of the chances.
Indy now take their turn spraying it around the back line. Mitchell. Long ball forward on the far side. Pasha can get forward. And Anunga finds that at his feet in the middle of the park. Switches the flank across to Bolt.
Right now, there's a little issue now with the forwards just all seem to be making the same runs. And, you know, when you're a new three and you haven't played as much together, sometimes that can happen where you all make the same runs. So I'm sure they'll work it out, a bit of communication, and then they can just start, you know, adjusting their runs, you know, instead of all running flat and together. Here's Wild.
Gordon Wild takes the strike, it's in! The Atlanta United loanee Gordon Wild sends a rocket home to put the Charleston Battery up in the 22nd minute. 1-0 Charleston, and a nice celebration to finish. Goals, of course, brought to you by Baker Roofing.
This is a fantastic goal. As you see, he takes up a great position on the edge of the box, comes in onto his strong foot, looks up, and it's a great shot. I mean, that's almost an unstoppable shot there, isn't it, from Gordon Wild? I mean, it's what he's good at. He's got a fantastic left foot, and he finds those little pockets. He'd look at, you can see, he took his head up, had one look, and puts a great shot into the corner. So, I think it's something that's deserved. Now, hopefully, that will settle some of these players down. They can open up and then start to really enforce some pressure onto this visiting team.
Gordon Wild with his 5th goal of the season, and what a fantastic finish that was.
And that's going to be good for the game. So if there is any neutrals out there, now Indy's going to have to come out a little bit now. The line of confrontation has been very deep. Now they're going to have to open up a little bit. You know, maybe not straight away, but they're going to have to change their game style a little bit, try and get a little bit further up the field. And that may leave some spaces for these very quick forwards of the Battery to get in behind.
Now you can see the change in the tempo. It's Indy 11 going forward. Hackshaw's there, good ball into the box. Archer heads away. Anunga meets it at the top of the box. Rittmeyer lengthens his stride, looking for Gordon Wild. Intercepted by Iosi. But again, quick play from the Battery. He's got Okonkwo at the top of the box. Wild, one-on-one, into the box. Does just enough on it to keep it in bounds, but not enough to find Okonkwo. And now, like you said, Derek, the game is really opening up.
Yeah, I think that will benefit the battery right now, you know, because they've got that speed, that pace, and there was an example there where Gordon Miles was isolated again one-on-one. He just needs to be a little bit stronger there. He decided to go on his weaker right foot. But, you know, it's there. As I said, the more the game opens up, it will really expand the options for the battery team, because as I said, they're very patient. They've got good ball players at the back, and they can certainly stretch teams when they need to.
Rambula. Safety first looks for Hackshaw. Across the back line from the battery. Leland Archer, the College of Charleston product, on the far side. Has been training with the team for quite a while, but just in these last couple of months has signed his first professional contract. And has settled into the team very well for a defender in a difficult position, playing with a three-man back line. Yeah,
I think he's formerly a central defender, so he's done it, but he's a little bit more responsibility on his passing. I mean, he's a very good defender, and he had a very good college career as a defender. You know, the role he's been asked to play now is he's got to do a little bit more from a developing the game point of view, and he seems to have settled in and done that very well.
Nice trickery from Jay Bolt as he runs into the box, chips on forward, got caught. Indecisions there.
Yeah, I think, you know, in hindsight, he probably would have liked a free kick there. We're going to look at the goal again. I said, you won't get tired of seeing that strike, will you? It was a fantastic strike. But Jay Bolt done there, you know, there was he's broke in again. He's used his speed and his strength, and sometimes, you know, the quality of his left foot is his weaker side. The fact that he's prepared to put it in and put good crosses in, that one just got away from him. But it's a good asset to have when you're two-footed. So for them young players out there watching, work on both feet.
Spees invites Sarikov into the attack. Back to Moses. Mitchell, the centre back, has been with Rennie since the Whitecaps and most recently in Seoul. And that's not unfamiliar for a player to stay with a coach over a period of time with different teams, is it, Derek?
No, you know, sometimes they travel well. One of the things I'm looking at Indy now, and one of the things they're going to have to do, they're going to have to move the ball quicker. One thing that the battery does is their shape gets them nice and narrow when they're in possession of the ball. You know, very few teams break them down. You know, when they did concede 3 goals, as I said, there was normally it's set pieces that gets them in. And right now, India are going to have to move the ball much, much quicker to move the battery players around to find those little gaps to play in and through them. Because right now, you know, as I said, apart from Cooper taking 1 cross, they haven't really troubled the back line of the battery.
And Nunga sitting in front of the back line, just shielding the defence as the battery spread the field. Rambula gets caught in the middle. This could be a chance. Numbers back. It's Spees. Lays one off to Watson. Watson to this back post. Sarikov takes the strike just wide of the post.
That was a very intelligent run by Starikov. He's gone in round the back, and he's kept his eyes on the ball. It came down. It's a very hard skill to hit a ball that's coming over your head. If you look at it now, he kept his eye on the ball. Just couldn't get the technique right. It's a very difficult skill, but a very intelligent run, leaving it, you know, shaping to go in and then coming to the far post. Great run.
Starikov comes from New York Cosmos for his first season with Indy 11. Has international experience, played in Russia and in Ukraine. Most recently in the USA, and makes his 5th start tonight for Indy 11. Iose in the middle of the park. Lofts one out wide to Moses. Matten up to Sarikov, out wide again. Worked up, it's dinked into the box, the header's there. Nicely defended from Rittmeyer. The danger isn't over for the battery. Victor Mansoure comes back to join in the defence. He's taken a nasty hit. Matten, the through ball is there. Spees taking on Taylor Mueller. Away by Archer.
Mansoray got caught there, but that was a nice spell of possession by Indy, wasn't it? They sort of worked the ball, they got into the box, played in very intelligently a couple of times, and you know, created some good chances. Good defending by the battery, but you know, a nice little spell of possession for Indy. And here's Mansoray here. I think he just goes in and gets challenges for the ball, and I think it was he lost his foot a little bit, and then with I think Moses it was who just caught him as well. So a little combination there, but he's back on his feet, back into the game, and I'm sure he's back organised into his position where he's supposed to be.
This is going to bring up the first corner kick for Indy 11. It's going to be Iose over the dead ball with the in-swinger from this near side.
We know how dangerous he can be with his set plays. The battery are going to have to be on their toes here for this one.
It's a good ball into the box at the back post. Cooper with the big save.
It's a great save there, but there's a free header at the back there. I'm trying to think who it is who's back there. Is it Mitchell? And he's gone there, and that's worrying, because there was two players at the back post. Let's see it again. Look, he's isolated himself at the back post. Someone hasn't gone. I think it was Hackshaw hasn't gone with his marker there. And great save there by Cooper.
It was Wimet and Mitchell both at the back post with the free header. Iose trots across to the other side of the field. This time it's going to be an out swinger, so keep your eye at the top of the box. Man marking from the battery. They've got everybody back behind the ball. Good ball into the back post again. This time it bounces through. It looks like Victor Mansoray's just in a bit of pain in the box. This will bring in Bobby Weisenberger of MUSC Health, always taking fantastic care of the players.
I think he's Leyland Archer this time, and again, it's another good delivery at the back. You know, Leyland Archer there, he's just been hit on the back of the head there. Obviously, there's a clash of heads. But, you know, one of the things, you know, that the Iose's delivery is very, very good. And as I said, it's if you take your eye off the ball, then, you know, you're going to be in problem there. And Archer's done a great job there of actually getting his head on the end of it and you know, putting his head in where it hurts. Great save by Cooper on the previous attack. So, you know, now the players can get a little bit of a well-earned drink while Archer gets some treatment.
Well, both teams just enjoying a quick water break here. And we mentioned this when they have the official water breaks due to temperatures, just so important for them to be able to get some fluid on board, but also a chance to talk tactically.
Yeah, I mean, the hydration break, as they call it, is there really to make sure it's designed for player safety. It happens a lot in youth football, but, you know, it's being seen more and more at the top end, and I think it's very important. You know, these players work so hard and they excrete so much fluid, and they need to refuel, and you can see that even the officials, that, you know, the assistant referees and the referees and the fourth officials are all taking on board water. So it's important. Let's have one more look at that goal. You'll never get tired of seeing this. Gordon Wild with his great left foot right into the top corner. Fantastic strike that separates the two teams right now.
There's the goal scorer, Gordon Wild, Nico Rittmeyer on your screens. 90 degrees at kickoff here in Charleston, South Carolina. A very warm evening.
I don't know if we called it on camera there. What was really nice there was you're seeing Guerra there talking to Patrick Okonkwo, you know, showing him the types of runs that he wants him to do, and that, and you know, and this team spirit that's been built up for this battery side is excellent.
It's going to be Iose to get us back underway here at MUSC Health Stadium in the 33rd minute. From the far side, Poppy Miller alongside Derek Broadley. Thank you for joining us for tonight's match, wherever you are. Mitchell, the Trinidad and Tobago international, leads Moses into the attack. He's generated some space. Pumps one up to Spees. Good challenge from Arambula. Okonkwo battling Matten. He finds Gordon Wild on the far side. He's got Nico Rittmeyer with him. Nobody in the box. Now the box is filling. It's Okonkwo over the bar. Good cross again in from the wings though, Derek.
Yeah, it was, but as I said, I think, you know, Rittmeyer, if we see it again, he's had to come back. He wants to play him first time. He's cut back in because there wasn't runners in the box, and Okonkwo delayed his run. You know, it worked for him this time, but we mentioned it earlier that, you know, the front three just have to, when they're putting balls in the box, they just got to get their runs right. Right now, there's a little bit of disconnect. I'm sure they'll get it, and as I said, they've just got to decide which one's going front post, which one's going back post, and who's driving into the middle.
Anunga picks it up out the air, lays it on the ground. Out wide to Hackshaw. Jay Bolt takes an awkward touch but does enough. Very physical on the ball. Too much from Arambula. Moses. Well, we'll update you with some scores from and around the league this Wednesday night. Atlanta United 2 leading Bethlehem Steel 1-0. We'll, of course, keep you up to date with the scores around the USL as we go on tonight. Rittmeyer. Rittmeyer's finding a lot of space on that far side.
Oh, he certainly is, as I said, and, you know, if we could get him further up the field, you know, that's where he does all his best work. You know, right now he's just a little bit deep. Nico does very well when he's one-on-one and he's looking to get crosses in. So as the game goes on, it'll be interesting to see if he can adopt that higher position.
It's a lofty ball forward looking for Okonkwo. You know Okonkwo's got the legs. He puts them under pressure. And Von Williams composed from the back. Plays it out quickly to Matten. This time it's Moses.
This is what I was talking about earlier. You know, they don't move the ball quick enough. You know, the Battery players don't have to work that too hard right now. The ball speed has to be much, much quicker. Passing backwards just gives players a chance just to jog forward a little bit. What defenders don't like doing is shifting from side to side at speed. And the consequence of that is there's not many spaces to go into for players to run in and receive it. So it's very, very hard to play through, especially a team like the Battery that when they haven't got the ball, defend very narrow. And here's Patrick Okonkwo. He just gets a little toe in there. That was very unfortunate.
Very speedy forward. Patrick Okonkwo, will keep our eye on him tonight. Loves to hang on the last offender. Again, that's what you're talking about, Derek. The Battery keep pushing them back behind the half.
Yep, and you know there's not much space in front of them. They've got to move the ball so much quicker so that those players have to run across and do it. And you know, the Battery do very well at having a line of confrontation, and then you know they're happy for teams to play sideways and backwards. That doesn't bother them, especially with the goal up.
It's Watson in the middle, looking for Pasha, and Rittmeyer does enough to win the free kick.
He's very competitive, Nico Rittmeyer, isn't he? Sometimes he's guilty of getting some yellow cards, you know, when he's over competitive. But you can see there, but you know, this time there, he's definitely the victim. He's securing the ball, getting it, and you know, certainly, you know, when a player comes over the top of that, you get your free kicks.
Hackshaw and Bolt combine on the near side. Back to Mueller. The Battery enjoying possession. Just under 10 minutes left of regulation to play here at MUSC Health Stadium in the first half. The Charleston Battery leading Indy 11 1-0. And if you're just joining us, it was Gordon Wild, the goal scorer, with a fantastic strike from the top of the box. Hackshaw up to Mansoray. Finds Anunga in the middle, who lays one off to Arambula. Good trickery from the captain as it goes all the way through.
The Battery's ball speed around the back is a little bit quicker. And you can see that the Indy players have to work so much harder chasing that ball.
Here comes Matten. And you can see Guerra in the middle of the park. Keep your eye on his work rate. He's been all over tonight. And I think, like you said, Derek, he's looking to bring that speed of passing up. Sarikov on Jay Bolt. That's going to bring up a free kick for the Battery. Yeah,
that's a sore one. It's, again, that's just a forwards challenge who's got the wrong side. You see there he's got the wrong side of him there, and he just goes to ground and just catch him on the heel. And, you know, fair play to him. He's patted him on the back, Starikov, and said, you know, apologised. He understands.
It's like Jay Bolt is up and okay. It's going to be Brian Anunga to get us back underway.
Just a clumsy challenge there. I don't think there was any malice in that one. It's a great run by Hackshaw, and this is, again, he just needs a bit more quality on that pass.
The first diagonal ball across from Leland Archer was spot on. We know he likes to risk those lofty balls across park. Guerra.
Another good feature there of the Battery's play is that Anunga just sits in. Now Jay Bolt's just sitting in just till everyone gets their shape back. Great discipline.
Spees. Matten finds it in the middle. The Battery congesting with numbers behind the ball.
There they go again, forcing the team back, even from their own 18-yard box. They're forcing them wide, making them work so hard for their openings. As I said, it's a great feature of their game.
Matten with the through ball to Moses. Can he get there on time? He gets one into the box, heads away by Archer. Matten beats Mansoray to the ball.
I think the referee consults with his linesman there. Yeah, you could see him just communicating there to get the handball right. It was the right decision. Just wasn't sure if he was waiting for an advantage or whether he just hadn't seen the call.
Fans, you can watch highlights from every game of the 2018 season and stay up to date with all the news from across the USL as the league's official Facebook page, Facebook USL Soccer.
Right now, the captain Watson's, he's the one who's trying to take the onus now for his team. If you notice, number 8 there, he's trying to push higher up the field. He knows his team's got to drive forward. You know, the Battery is enjoying lots of spells. And here he goes. He's putting pressure on the ball right now in an attempt to try and rush them. And you have to say that there's success right there. Just when it goes straight into the keeper's hands.
Here he is on the ball. Matt Watson. Sarikov. Guerra. Includes Matten. And Nico Rittmeyer steps through and wins. He's found Gordon Wild. Looking for the through ball to Patrick Okonkwo. There's numbers in the box. Takes the strike just over the bar.
And again, great play by Gordon Wild. I think it was one in midfield by Rittmeyer. I don't know how far back we'll see that, but great little intelligent diagonal run by Patrick. Maybe there he was a little bit too wide. Maybe should have shot back across goal, and maybe could even crossed it. But you know, it's a great little intelligent run. Good link-up play from the two players. So I'm sure Coach Anhaz will be very pleased with that.
Well, Derek, 3.5 minutes to go in this first half. Let's get your thoughts.
No, I think so far the home team's definitely on top. You know, their shape is definitely dominating the game. You know, they're not conceding chances. They're creating a few down the sides. They're making Indy 11 work very, very, very hard to work some openings. And
this could be a chance. It's a through ball to Sarikov. Cooper comes forward. Well played from the veteran.
So right now, you know, they're very much in control of the Battery. They look the more dangerous team. Indy, as I said earlier, have got to try and move the ball a little bit quicker. They've got to try and go from back to front a little bit faster and force the home team into some errors.
It's Anunga. Cooper again gets the Battery back underway quickly from a goal throw. Anunga back to Hackshaw.
This is where that one goal lead now, you know, we're getting close to the half-time mark. You know, I'm sure the Battery will be very happy to go in 1-0. Yeah, that, you know, everyone would like to go in with 2, but they'll just make sure they keep possession of the ball, see if they can work a good opening like this.
Gordon Wild again looking for the space to take his strike. He's got Jay Bolt with him. Feeds him forward. Jay Bolt looking for the negative. Moses comes through. Sarikov now.
Gordon Wild probably should have just passed that out a little bit earlier or took a shot. I think he was caught in two minds there. Good positive running from the youngster, though. It's very good.
Pasha in the middle. Battery appealing for offside. And they'll get it. Maybe Leland Archer to track back. Get us back underway. The Battery have had great communication between the three-man back line tonight.
And even that offside there, though, you know, they've got a good line. You know, they've got a great leader back there in Taylor Mueller, and you know, they're very, very, very well organised.
Taylor Mueller enters his 7th season with the Battery. He played every single minute of every match last season and has started all but one this year, 4th all-time in appearances. He is on the ball for Hackshaw. Hackshaw turn and go. Solid challenge from Moses. That'll be a throw-in for the Battery. Safety first from the Trinidad and Tobago, back to Mueller to switch the flank. Well, we're hearing there's going to be 3 minutes of extra time in the first half. And of course, we'll keep you up to date as soon as we see that. Bolt takes his space, gets held up by Sarikov. This time a bit late in the challenge. Guerra for Watson. Again, that's what you're talking about, Derek, just struggling to go forward with the possession.
Yeah, they just, you know, they move the ball from side to side, but the Battery players don't have to work so hard to keep them at bay. And as I said, you know, that's a great longer pass, but as I said, you've either got to go over the top or around the sides, and right now they're not doing either. So, you know, right now the Battery are very comfortable with keeping the game in front, making them work from side to side. They're quite happy to concede a bit of possession, especially in the final, their final third. And then once they do win it back, they, you know, with their pace and power up front.
We'll just get a look at that.
I think that was a little stray arm there again that went. So it was again another sore one. The referee will have to start this by just dropping the ball and letting Cooper pick it up once it hits the floor.
Disnall Cooper plays from the back. It's Hackshaw into Anunga. The pressure's on. This time Mueller brings them out. Patrick Okonkwo wins the aerial duel. Very slick surface out there tonight. Looking for Okonkwo dispossessed in the midfield. Spees. Back to Wyoze. Again, Guerra working all over the field to get the attack generated. Watson. Moses intercepted by Bolt. Turns to Mansoret. Into Okonkwo, well left for Gordon Wild. Just loses his footing at the top of the box, but a nice bit of trickery. This time it's Sarikov now at the other end. Just over a minute left to play here of extra time. Boat. Anunga switches the field again. Rittmeyer and acres of space on the far side. Goes into Arambula. Up to Anunga. The Charleston Battery have only lost one game at home so far this season. It was the very first game of the regular season against FC Cincinnati. Had a great home run ever since, Derek.
No, they have, and a lot of that's down to their shape. As I said, they get plenty of bodies behind the ball. You know, they're very solid. They've got, you know, 9 times out of 10 they play with 2 holding midfield players when they haven't got it. So they're very hard to break down, and you know their goals against tally is great testament to that. There's a lot of work that goes to maintain that on the training ground, and that they certainly rely on the creativity and the positiveness of their strikers.
The Battery enjoying some possession. Heading into the locker room, 1-0 up at half-time. Gordon Wild was the goal scorer. And you can see them on your screens there, Gordon Wild and Patrick Okonkwo. Let's take a look at some first half highlights presented to you by Baker Roofing.
Yeah, that was really the only real save of the half for Cooper. You know, the Battery had a lot of possession, obviously culminated the first half of that great goal, great strike. But, you know, the Battery definitely are on top. They're the home team, which they should be. And I think Indy's got a lot of work to do in the second half to try and get themselves back into this game.
We're going to take a quick break now. We'll join you at halftime for some halftime action where we'll be talking all things World Cup and upcoming home games. We'll see you in a
You know, every year we take care of the team and they send over players that they think they may need help, anything we can help with to improve their vision. And when we met Cooper, his vision, corrected or uncorrected as he was playing, would be the equivalent of not being legal to drive. So, and amazingly, he was still as good as he was with that type of vision. And so he's the exact reason why we want to do something like this, so we can identify players that can really make a difference. So of course, so people with correction, people with astigmatism, their eyes change, right? That's a pretty natural thing. And so that's why we follow up with patients once a year, because what we do is just make sure that they're still optimized, they're still fully corrected, and give them the best vision they can. No, I was actually pretty amazed, and that's actually really kudos to him for how talented he naturally must be, because reaction times are affected when things are blurry. So the fact that he was as good as he was with uncorrected vision is pretty amazing.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that. I came here and they told me, okay, your left eye is really bad. Your right eye is about, you know, it's not as bad as your left, but it's bad. So I was like, they told me that how I was feeling playing soccer. I was like, I feel great, but then when I got my contacts in, I felt even better. So yeah, I remember the first time I practiced with them, I could see like everything more, you know, better. The ball looks like bigger to me. The goal looked like smaller. Everything was great. Yeah, I cannot imagine. You know, of course, I used to play without him. I don't know how I did it. That's a good thing. But I'm thankful. You know, I'm thankful for for this opportunity. In Cuba, I didn't have that. So, yeah.
Welcome back to MUSC Health Stadium. It's halftime here between the Charleston Battery and Indy 11. But while we have a second, let's turn our attention to what's coming up for the Battery. They will be back at home on Saturday, Derek, to take on the reigning USL champions, Louisville City SC. There'll be fireworks after the match, but we can also expect fireworks on the pitch.
Yeah, we've mentioned this game a few times in the previous weeks. I mean, it's a fantastic game, playing the champions at home. You know, coming off a good set of results as well. So I think the crowd's going to be a big one. Everyone's going to be anticipating a really good game. Fireworks obviously brings the kids in, but the fireworks on the game is going to bring in those real fans. Louisville, again, they're really playing well right now. So everyone can expect a truly great game this weekend.
Just 3 points separates the Battery and Louisville City SC in the Eastern Conference, so that is going to be a fantastic matchup. The following day, the game that everybody's been waiting for, it's the World Cup final, and we've got you covered here at MUSC Health Stadium in the Three Lions pub. Kickoff is, of course, at 11 a.m. And Derek, a bit of a sore subject for us today.
Yeah, you know, England's result is very disappointing, although you have to say it's been a great experience for the country to see England get through to the semi-final. It was a fantastic game. Hopefully everyone out there watched that game earlier. And now we move on to Croatia-France, and two European teams very evenly matched. You know, you have to look sometimes, is their name on it? Croatia, having come through 3 extra time periods, 2 penalties. And then if you're France, you're thinking, you know, that they didn't play particularly well in the group stages, but they've finished really strong coming through the knockout stages. So it looks like it's going to be a great game, and whoever's in it, I think the World Cup final is the World Cup final.
It is indeed. And let's get a score prediction from you, of course. Who do you think is going to win, and what do you think the score's going to be?
I'm going to go with France 2-0.
France 2-0. I'm going with Croatia because whoever knocks England out has to win it. Then we've got an away game coming up. The Charleston Battery will take on Pittsburgh Riverhounds at Highmark Stadium at 7 p.m. But don't worry, we've got you covered at the Alley. There'll be a watch party, and they're always a fantastic time. Pittsburgh, of course, have only lost 1 game so far this season. So join us at the Alley for that watch party. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll have second half kickoff from MUSC Health Stadium. It's up next. Welcome back to MUSC Health Stadium. It's halftime here. The Charleston Battery leading Indy 11 1-0. While we have a second, let's check in with head coach Mike Anhauser. Mike, 7 changes to the lineup tonight. What's your thoughts on how they've done in the first 45?
Turn the music down.
Mike, 7 changes to the lineup tonight. What's your thoughts on how the team's done so far in the opening 45? Well, it looks like we're having some audio issues with head coach Mike Anhauser. We'll see if we can get that update to you shortly. As for right now, Derek, the Battery, of course, leading Indy 11, 1-0 at the half as they're all back out. What would you think Mike Anhauser said to the team in the locker room?
Well, I think from your question, you know, how do you think your 7 changes have done? I mean, I think you'll be very, very pleased, you know, going in with a goal up. You know, one of those changes is scoring a goal, and it was a very good goal. So I'm sure he'll be very pleased. I think his message would be we've got to keep doing more of the same. You know, as I said, they look very comfortable defensively. You know, we spoke just before half-time. Indy's going to have to change something. They're going to have to move the ball a bit quicker, try and be a little bit more inventive in front of the Battery's back 4. But for Mike Anhauser, as I said, I'm sure it's much more the same. Keep the tempo up. Let's be very patient. Let's draw them out, and let's be clinical when we get our chances.
Well, we are underway here at MUSC Health Stadium. Poppy Miller alongside Derek Broadley. And as always, thank you for joining us for tonight's match, wherever you are. And a shout out to the Indy fans that made the trip down here. It's Patrick Okonkwo. And Fon Williams does just enough to get a touch on that. No substitutes at the half, but of course we'll keep you up to date with those. Now a chance for Sarikov. He's in the one-on-one with Neville Hackshaw on the far side. Up to Bolt. Well, a more energetic start to what we saw at kickoff, Derek.
Yeah, it was a bit of a loose pass there by Leyland Archer. Now he's got a chance to redeem himself and play a little bit more positively. I love the fact that they want to play right from the start, you know, out of the back, but sometimes you've got to play your way into a game, and I think Leyland was a little bit guilty there of being a bit too casual. Now here we go, they've got the ball back in good areas.
It's Iose who comes through and wins it for Indy. Up to Pasha. There is numbers in the box. Leland tracking back. Fantastic defending from the Trinidad and Tobagan.
Yeah, he's a big, strong boy, isn't he? Not many people get past him, and you know, there was an example there where he used his strength and power. He's also very good technically, but you know, he's in there first and foremost to be a defender.
Leland Archer 6'4". Now it's Jay Bolt in acres of space on the far side. Okonkwo looking for the ball forward as he's dribbling through. Maybe one too many touches from Bolt, but Arambula can pick it up. Arambula one-on-one on the far side. The pressure is on. Does enough to win a corner, does well there. Yeah,
I mean, Victor Mansray should be applauded there. He done a great piece of play in midfield. He got it, he switched it out, got Jay Bolt out again. Jay was probably just a little bit too overplayed a little bit too much there then, and Rambler just come through and got the corner that he deserves, and he'll take that himself now.
It's Ryan Arambula over the dead ball. Charleston Battery's first corner of the night in the 48th minute. It's going to be an in-swinger from the far side. Keep your eye on the height in the box. Taylor Mueller, and it runs straight through.
That's a fantastic delivery. You know, it only needs a touch from a defender or an attacker. And I think, if anything, the Battery players were a little bit guilty to make their runs a little bit too early. But great delivery, good pace on the ball, great height, and it went right through. And very unfortunate there.
Fon Williams to get us back underway. Well, on the other hand, Derek, if you're Martin Rennie, what was the message to the team at the half to get back on the score sheet?
Well, as I said, they played with energy, but it was energy in areas of the field where it didn't really have a massive effect on the defensive side of the Battery's shape. So I think Rennie's going to have to really seriously look at maybe changing his shape a little bit, maybe eventually changing some personnel. But they've certainly got to move the ball quicker. They've got to be a little bit more inventive around the box, and maybe a little bit more energy. And maybe the most important thing is just try and move that line of confrontation further up the field.
Well, here they are in the attack now. On the far side, past Hackshaw, good ball into the back post. Can he get there? Cooper taps it over the top of the crossbar and denies Ben Spees.
Yeah, great play by Moses, and he got one-on-one. Not many people get round Neville Hackshaw there, but he did. He got a good cross. He stood it up to the far post. And as I said, they were very unfortunate not to get a good shot on target. So that's definitely more positive. Here we go. Look, gets round the back, just chips it to the far post. I think what he's trying to do there is just knock it back into the box. But good defending again by the battery.
Number 9981334. Again, that's
First real chance for Indy 11.
1334.
Matten wins the aerial duel in the middle, speeds, heads on to Storikov.
The number is also displayed
Out
on
wide
the
to Jay Bolt.
Please report to the regiment table where you got your ticket.
Lofty ball forward. Patrick Okonkwo offside, just runs back from that offside position.
Defending there by Indy, you know, Mitchell, when he got his back four lined up and just stepped up. It's a very cheap offside if you're the attacking team.
Happy birthday, Bryce.
Well, Indy 11 have got some crucial wins under their belt this season. 3 wins against the top 4 in the Eastern Conference. On fantastic form. They still have Sunisad on the bench and of course McInerney. We'll wait and see if any of the substitutions play a role in tonight's match. There's some movement on the bench from Indy 11. And of course Mike Anhauser has the leading goal scorer in the Eastern Conference, Atula Guerra, on the bench tonight.
There's another stray pass there by Leyland Archer. He'll need to just sharpen up a little bit now.
It's Gordon Wild into Okonkwo, finds Mansoret. Good ball out to this near side. Positive touch from Nico Rittmeyer, looking for the negative ball back. And one out the back from Iose. Pasha. See how high Leland Archer stepped. And does just enough there to win the throw. Good defending.
Yeah, they said he's a big, strong lad. That's twice now he's shown that in the second half already, where he just uses his strength behind. And then very intelligent play, nicking it off the defender there to get his throw in.
Well, Indy have definitely stepped up their line of confrontation, looking to possess more with a purpose in the second half.
Yeah, they're going to have to come out and play, aren't they? If they want to get anything from this game, they're going to have to be a little bit bolder. They're going to have to take a few risks. And obviously that leaves space in behind should the battery break very quickly.
Iose goes back. Wimet, the 26-year-old Canadian international, makes his 16th start in 16 games tonight for Indy. Comes from the San Francisco Deltas. Offside, and again another great step from the battery back line. Yeah,
the back three do a great job. They you know, it's all marshalled by Taylor Mueller. They keep a nice tight line, and when players run, they're happy to let them offside and trust in the officials and their good decisions. One of the things I think the battery have to applaud themselves thus far, and I say thus far, is they haven't conceded any free kicks in and around their box to let Iose, you know, test them with his you know, obvious quality. So that's a great sign, and hopefully they can do that for the remainder of the game.
And talking to Mike Anhauser earlier this week, it's a shot from Mansoret over the crossbar. Again, another good ball across the top of the box. See a bit of frustration on Mansoret. He'll want that one back.
Yeah, that was a very intelligent pass, wasn't it? There was a lot of people running into the box there. Nico Rittmeyer just had a little look up, made a little square pass across the box, and, you know, as you said, Victor would like that one back again, I think.
Fans, keep up to date with all the best social media from around the league as Kelsey Steele hosts Off the Post every Friday through the league's Facebook, Twitter and Instagram feeds. It's Anunga. Press from Watson. We mentioned Watson in the first half. Fantastic work rate in the middle, and you can see him just really trying to get the attack going for Indy.
As a skipper, he's really trying to drive his team forward, isn't he? You know, I'm sure they've all spoke about it at half-time. They need to start to be a bit more creative, a little bit bolder, make some more intelligent runs in and behind. You know, check two, check away. And he's definitely the one leading that charge.
Hackshaw on the far side finds Bolt. Now it's Mansoret. Battery spraying it around the field to get into the attack. Too much pressure from Iose. Gordon Wild wins the set piece opportunity. And just out of your screenshot, I can see Suni Sad just dressing out, and I'm sure we'll be seeing him make his way onto the field in just a few minutes.
Yeah, it was inevitable, really. It's a little bit earlier than what we see is the foul on Wild. You know, he's done very well to screen the ball and draws the foul in.
And here he is. Suni Sad makes his way into the match for Tyler Pasha, the 25-year-old. 4 right foot goals on the season and is absolutely critical over the dead ball. And now the Battery backline are going to have to keep their eye on him.
Yeah, it was inevitable that we're going to have to make a change. We're going to have to do something. I think, you know, obviously you send your troops out with your message, and Rennie's obviously done that. He's given it 10 minutes, hasn't seen too much of a change, and thinks, right, let's rustle it up a little bit, put another body in there, maybe a little bit more of a dimension, and see how they go.
Confident play out the back from Indy. On this near side, long ball forward, read by Archer. Indy win the throw-in. It's Iose tracking up the field to take. The Battery players getting numbers back behind the ball. And that's one of the things that they've really been key with this season, is despite having the 3-man back line, they can switch so fast into a defensive shape.
Yeah, and I think it's something that Indy need to have a real look at them. You know, look at sometimes that's the danger when you have 4, you pass it and you're making 3 passes, and when you've only got 3, you're only making 2. So the ball speed is so much quicker. Sometimes that's the danger having 4 at the back. You know, like maybe now, if Mitchell was to get it, could he switch it right over here and miss a pass out, rather than take that extra pass, and it slows the game up.
Suni Sad getting his first touches on the ball in the second half. Gordon Wild for a Rambula.
It was an unlucky pass there, just didn't have enough weight on it.
Iose. The ball falls out. It's Spees. So Rikov lays one off for Watson, switched out wide. Watson again puts one to the back post, and no worries there for the Battery back line. Yeah,
that's a good battle over there, isn't it? Hackshaw and Moses. I mean, you know, a couple of times they've squared up. It's probably even Stevens right now, but Moses is taking initiative to try and get in behind Neville Hackshaw, and he's a hard player to get around. He's done it once to good effect, and that's a real battle that we'll keep an eye on in this second half.
The Cuban gets us back underway. Runs straight back through to him. Very composed on the ball, and not easy for a goalkeeper to make their first start after a while off, Derek.
No, but he's played himself in. He's done very well. You know, I'm just looking at, you know, Starikov's moved further up the field as well now, isn't he? He's sort of taken more of a central role for this since the substitution came on. So you can see they're definitely trying to throw more bodies forward.
And this could be a chance. It's Sarikov one-on-one with Cooper, chips over him, and you called it, Derek. Indy 11 equalizes the scoring in the 58th minute. It's Sarikov.
Yeah, he'd adopted a much higher position. That time there, he beat the offside trap here as it was played through. Looks offside from this angle. Very composed finish, but again, the Battery back line, you can see there, I think it was, if anything, it was Leyland Archer just kept him onside there. So the first time they got in between, but Starikov's positioning, he moved much higher. He's brought back in probably against a little bit against the run of play now, but now the Battery's going to have to pick it up again and take the game to them.
Well, the attacking change from Rene has paid off as Sarikov scores his first goal for Indy 11 of the season. And now we've got a game on our hands. The 59th minute, all even here at MUSC Hill Stadium. Poppy Miller alongside Derek Broadley. Thank you for joining us for tonight's match, wherever you are.
To be fair to them, they've come out in the second half. They've made the change, good positive change by Rennie, wasn't it? He let it go. Normally people wait for that hour mark. And right away, as soon as that goal went in, Coach Matt Anhauser sent all his subs down, and I'm sure we'll see a few changes coming up very soon.
It's Sooney Sad with a great bit of trickery into the box. Cooper comes out off his line, saved by Taylor Mueller. And Taylor Mueller brings it out the back, but what a chance that was.
That's a fantastic opportunity there, and the Battery are very fortunate there not to go a goal down very quickly after just conceding the first goal.
The danger isn't over for the Battery. He's got Hackshaw beat. There's numbers in the box. A dink ball into the top, trying to get the shot off. Ben Spies over the bar. Just kept in bounds, and Nico Rittmeyer comes across safety first.
And yeah, there's the chance again. It was a bit of a false effort, but Taylor Mueller takes up a great position on the line and just basically it hits him on the back of the heels, and then he has the composure to play out. So very lucky there for the Battery. The home team are under a little bit of pressure right now. And as I said, if it continues, I'm sure there'll be a substitution in the not too distant future from the Battery just to organise this spell of pressure.
It's Iose, another chance over the dead ball. An outswinging corner from this near side. Taylor Mueller heads away, and Patrick Okonkwo steers it clear. But now, Derek, we've got a game on our hands much similar to what we saw in Indy 11 in the late going.
There's another corner there. Again, it's a needless ball into the box. Archie goes up and just gets underneath it a little bit and flicks off the top of his head for another corner kick. So right now, the visitors are putting the home team under a little bit of pressure. We know Iose's got great delivery, and it's causing the Battery a few problems right now.
5 assists on the season. It's Iose again over the dead ball. Keep your eye on the back post. Another solid delivery in. This time they can get a head on it. Over the crossbar, but very close. And again, a solid delivery. Yeah,
no, that was again, great delivery. Good first header. It headed down, second bounce. And as I said, the second header just went over the bar. But it's worrying signs for the home team. 2 headers in the box in the minutes. Here we go again. So it's headed it down. I think it's Saar there, the substitute who comes on, just can't get up and over the ball. So, yeah, there's worrying times right now. And as I said, I think we're going to get a substitution very, very quickly from the Battery in response to how the game's gone over the last 5 minutes.
Well, there is movement on the Battery line. You can see Jared Van Schaik putting his jersey on just below us. We'll wait and see who Mike Anhauser is going to bring out for that substitution. Bolt. It's Wild at the top of the box, takes a strike, it's deflected, and Jay Bolt's there. Tests Fon Williams, but no worries for the veteran keeper.
Again, it fell to his slightly weaker foot. Gordon Wild takes a great position out edge of the box again. Good strike, gets a good block. Jay Bolt's there just trying to hit that left-footed volley, just can't connect with it.
And now Indy 11 is on the attack again, looking to split the back line. It's Garrett with the press. The danger isn't over. It's Sooney Sad. Invites Iose into the attack. There's numbers in the box. Good delivery. Heads away by Hackshaw, and Watson takes the strike. Out wide to Matten. Moses one-on-one with Bolt. Again, numbers still in the box. It comes across, and Cooper picks it out of the air.
I think he just needs to hold on to it a little bit there, Cooper, and just give his time. His side's under a little bit of pressure. And as then, the little change of formation, the little, certainly Said coming on has made a big impact already. And as I said, the whole tempo of the game's changed since that substitution.
Jared Van Schaik is dressed and ready to go below us. I'm sure he will be coming in the next stoppage. Right now, though, the attack is on. It's Moses tracking across. Hackshaw guiding the ball out of bounds, and does just enough very experienced play from the Trinidad and Tobagan. And this is going to bring up an opportunity for Mike Anhauser to make his first substitution of the game. It's going to be Victor Mansoret coming out for the veteran Jared Van Schaik.
Basically, I think what's happening here is I think that there needs a bit more experience on that left side. As I said, they've been starting to dominate. You know, I think Starikov's, he's sort of drifted back into that position since he scored the goal, and I think that's where a lot of the supply lines are coming through. So
it's Van Schaik to make his way in. He started every game but this one for Mike Anhauser's side this season. An absolute veteran on the team with a wealth of experience and 2 assists so far. Well, in the first half, Derek, we saw the Battery players have acres of space on the wings, and Indy 11 have looked to shut that down in the second half.
Yeah. I think it's they've come out with certainly with a spring in their step, a different energy. They've made that one substitution there that, you know, Saad has definitely come on and changed the shape of the team a little bit, and then changed the attitude. And now it's a totally different game to it was in the first half. The first half, the Battery looked very comfortable in possession. They were very compact. There's a loose one there. But, yeah, no, it's a totally different game than it was the first half. They're moving the ball a little bit quicker.
There's Jared Van Schaik getting his first touches on the ball, just showing his experience.
Yeah, and now what I think now that it's down to the Battery now as the home team, they've got to make some adjustments now and get themselves back into this game.
Van Schaik for Hackshaw. Again, like you said, Derek really starting to open up in this late going. Long ball out of the back. Looking for a Conquo up top, won by Mitchell. Jared Van Schaik picks up the second ball. And now a bit of space has presented itself. Goes into Arambula.
The Battery got to be the ones that are going to move this ball a little bit quicker and start to get Nico Rittmeyer back into the game, Jay Bolt back into the game, Gordon Wild back into the game, so that they can start. So here's Gordon on the ball now.
He's got numbers with him, goes across field to Arambula. And Anunga. Hackshaw joins in the attack. Anunga just showing his pace and strength on the ball. Wild at the top of the box. Taking his chances, block shot. Rittmeyer can pick up. Recycled out wide. Looking for the ball into the back post. Okonkwo's there, heads away by Moses.
And that's a good thing about Wild. He can go both ways. He can go on his right side, he can go on his left side. He's got good delivery both ways. That was a good ball into the box there, and Patrick Okonkwo should have done probably a little bit better trying to get on the end of it.
Now Indy 11 looking for a spell of attack. Matten in the middle of the park. Looking for Guerra. Iosi joining in, switches the flank to Moses.
This is that battle I was talking about now, Moses versus Neville Hackshaw. It's been a real good one so far.
Good strength from Brian Anunga, does enough to win the free kick in the middle. On ball.
Referee sees the funny side out. To me, that's what I call a professional. That's a yellow card for me. You know, when a player's stop the momentum of the game, I think that's why the yellow cards were brought in. And you know, I'd like to see cards given for that because it completely stops the momentum of the attack.
Brian Anunga looking to get the attack going. Assesses his options. Suni Sad reads the ball. And now a chance for Indy. Speeds to Sad, looking to go straight through. You can see some frustration from Captain Taylor Mueller. Suni Sad was on his bike.
Yeah, it was a great piece of skill, but as I said, I think he ran into him. If you look there, yeah, he ran. I don't think Mueller's changed his course of his run or anything. He hasn't tried to block it. It's a bit like ice hockey there, but I don't think Taylor Mueller's actually changed his stride to block him out. But now this is what we were speaking about in the pre-game. You know, it's the first time they've got a free kick in a good position, and Iose now, it's his territory, and it's the first time that he's got a chance to show what he can do with that lovely, sweet left foot he's got.
Well, this is exactly what the Battery didn't want. Like I mentioned earlier, talking to Mike Anhauser earlier this week, he said the key is not giving up set pieces in dangerous areas. This could be a dangerous area for Iose. And of course, Suni Sad making his way into the box.
It's definitely his territory. It's about 35 yards. It's going to take a good strike, but we know he's got that. So we'll see, you know, Saad's lined up with it as well.
Suni Sad and Iose over the ball. It's Sad over the crossbar. No worries for a Disnell Cooper.
I think the home fans would rather see Saad hit that than Iose, because, you know, we know what Iose can do.
And this is the change the Battery fans might have been waiting for. It's leading goal scorer Atula Guerra making his way onto the field, and Patrick Okonkwo makes way for him.
And there's a sensible substitution there, isn't it? You know, it shows intent to the rest of the players that you take off a player that's trying to get some minutes on, and then Guerra comes in, and, you know, he's in a rich vein of goal-scoring form. The team needs a goal, and he's their talisman, and I'm sure it's, you know, you can just hear from the response of the crowd, the welcome that Guerra's got, that now that will lift the crowd, lift the team, and let's see if he's got enough time to get himself and improve his record.
Atula Guerra with 9 goals on the season so far, and he will be looking for his 10th tonight. With about 20 minutes left to play, and here he is. We know he likes to pair it well with Gordon Wild, so we'll keep our eye on that duo tonight. Good defending from Anunga. This time it's Anunga getting into the attack. We're met. Up to Iose, who takes space, looking for the switch of the flank. What a ball that is across the park. Hackshaw tracks across, and now it's Watson into the box, and that has won a corner, and that all came from Iose's good delivery across the park.
Yeah, fantastic switch of play. It's the hardest ball in soccer to defend, isn't it? You know, when someone hits a great ball from one side of the field to the other to someone who's running in front. Here it is here, look. Gets you set up. You can, oh no. I think we just missed that. This is the ball in for Anunga. But yeah, that diagonal switch of play is a very hard ball to defend, especially if it's to a player who's running forward.
This time it's going to be Ben Spees to track over to take the dead ball from the far side. It's going to be an outswinger. The Battery pulling everybody back into the box to defend. You know how dangerous they are on these set-piece opportunities. Spees into the box, looking for the strike. No worries there for the Battery back line.
Yeah, I think that was Archer then again, he's thrown himself into the, got his head on the ball, so that was good, and the secondary shot just went wide, but didn't really trouble Cooper.
Disnell Cooper, Cuban veteran, to get us back underway. His 6th season with the Battery, 8 all-time in club appearances. And he started 5 of 5 games he's appeared in this season for Mike Anhauser's side.
You see Guerra's come on, he's got a real spring in his step once he got on the ball. There's, you know, he's on the ball again. We always think he does his best work further up the field, but you can see he's got a real spring in his step. He's running around, getting lots of touches on the ball. Here he is again.
It's Bolt to Guerra on the far side. And Moses predicts the path of the ball. Hackshaw into the middle. Out wide to Archer. It's Rittmeyer. The pressure is there from Iose. 11 really starting to build the pressure up. It's Van Schaik. You know Atula Guerra, like you said, Derek, likes to get back into the midfield to generate the attack, but also is hanging on that last defender out of nowhere.
Yeah, I think what he does is he drifts around, and then he, you know, it works to his advantage, because, you know, them balls do get played up. People don't mark him as tight. He finds them little pockets, and that's where he's absolutely clinical from the edge of the 18-yard box.
Moses. Up to Spees. Spees delivers one into the PK spot. Archer comes through on top. Hackshaw, lofty clearance. Atula Guerra's on his bike. And now this could be a bit of pressure. Dealt with nicely by Mitchell. And Fon Williams waiting for it. The game's really starting to open up now.
Yeah, players are getting tired. You know, the battery in particular right now, you know, that they still do get men in, but it's not as sharp and efficient as it was in the first half. And there's a few little gaps popped open, which they've certainly, Indy have certainly exploited. People like Guerra and Spies, they just starting to find those little pockets. And, you know, even that's where the goal came from. So I think it's important now that the battery get composed. There's plenty of time left in this game. And I think there's an injury on the field here now, which gives all the players a chance to get a little bit of hydration on board. It's not one of those breaks, but the break in play, the referee's using common sense, allowing players to get a good drink on the field.
Well, it looks like it's Jay Bolt on the far side. Neville Hackshaw just stretching him out. Potentially might be a bit of cramp in this late going. Like we said, he's just come back from injury and has put in a solid shift tonight, Derek.
No, definitely. Yeah, I mean, you know what you're going to get from Jay Bolt, didn't you? I think it could be a little combination of tiredness, a little bit of an injury. I think took a little bit of a whack. You know, I'm sure, you know, Brian Woodbine is one that potentially could come into the game. You know, it's a natural replacement. You know, they could have a little shift. You know, Gerard Van Schaik could pop back, and you could see someone like an Angelo Kelly come in, or a Kataro. So, you know, here's their goal again. As I said, definitely a hint of offside, but a very clinical finish. And, you know, right before that goal happened, we spotted the little tactical change. You know, the little personality where Storykoff moved up into a more central position, and they reaped the reward of that tactical change.
Be very interesting if we had VAR refereeing in the USL to see if that goal was offside. This is going to bring up another substitution for Martin Rennie's side, and making his way off the field, it's going to be Guerra, and coming in, it is Steinberger. So another like-for-like change. The 26-year-old midfielder has started 9 of the 13 games he's appeared in so far this season, and has got 1 goal this year. And there's a change that you just called, Derek. O'Brien Woodbine makes his way into the match, and it's Jay Bolt to come off. Another like-for-like substitution.
Yep, yeah, again, one of the real positive sides to this battery team is that, you know, you can almost predict the substitutions in terms of personnel. You know, they stick to their game plan as best they can. It's been very effective for them. It's very useful for them. And, you know, Brian Woodbine comes straight in. Again, he's on his weaker side, but he's an experienced player. He knows how to do that, so he'll do very well out there.
And very positive changes from both benches, attacking changes.
Yeah, what I love about this USL Pro League is that, you know, all the teams, home and away, always want to win games. You know, defensive substitutions are only really done when there's injuries, or you know, not many teams really try and protect their games. They like to go for it, and that's great for the crowd who come out and watch every week, and great for the viewers on TV that see that.
And here is O'Brien Woodbine combining with Atula Guerra. It was Woodbine that got the goal away in Indianapolis when they took on Indy 11, and now he's just earned the battery an opportunity.
I think he's very fortunate here, because he's not going to get that. And you know, that's an experienced player there. He knocked it a little bit too far. There was contact, there's no doubt, but he made sure that he was getting his free kick with that, and it's put the battery in a very, very promising position.
This has brought up Gordon Wild to take the set piece opportunity.
What we need now is a good delivery into the box, and see if the defenders can defend and the attackers can attack.
Leland Archer in the mix. Keep your eye on him. Archer's there. It's at the back post. Van Schaik can pick it up. Van Schaik goes to the top of the box. O'Brien Woodbine takes the strike. Hit it first time with contact, but not quite on target.
Again, good delivery into the box. It went a little bit long. Very well recycled by Van Schaik. You know, played a very intelligent ball to the back post. There it is there, look. Instead of lobbing it back in. Well left by Anunga. O'Brien, yeah, you know, that's a shot of a player that's just come onto a game that's of a very good pace.
Here's O'Brien Woodbine, the Jamaican veteran, has years of USL and MLS experience under his belt. Reads the game incredibly well. Hackshaw on the far side runs out of play. Brings it back in for his team. This time it's Wild, a lofty ball into the middle of the park. Suni Saad's there. It's Tarikov to Saad. Into the box, diving header from Archer. And the strike is there over the bar and the top fence.
Yeah, Wild was living up to his name there. That was a very wild, loose pass, wasn't it? And it gave all the momentum back in. And you know, even this was a little bit of a wayward header. Good first touch, but just couldn't get over the strike and didn't trouble Cooper. So a little bit of a let off there from Spears to the Battery players.
About 10 minutes left to go here at MUSC Health Stadium. All even. Charleston Battery 1, Indy 11 1. Suni Saad looked to get his team back underway quickly. It's Ioze. Lofty ball over to the far side. Back to Moses. The game's much more open than it was in the first half, this second half play, Derek.
You know, it's a much more even contest, isn't it? You know, that's definitely credit to Coach Rennie and his staff. He's come out with his team kind of a totally different attitude the second half. They've moved the ball a little bit quicker. They've changed the shape, changed the personnel, and caused the home team some problems.
Chip ball in, away by Hackshaw. Mitchell dinks one forward for Moses. Up to Sarikov. One-on-one with Hackshaw. It's Watson at the top of the box. Heads away by Arambula. Just too much pace on that. Well, this is going to bring up the third substitution of the night for Coach Rennie. And it's the one that the Indy 11 fans might have been waiting for. Jack McInerney on. And it's Ben Spees to make way. Ben Spees, a solid night tonight. Yeah,
no, he's had a good game. I said he's worked very, very hard, and you know this is definitely a straight swap now, just to try and give another talented player, Jack McInerney, a chance to come in and be the hero for the team. But Spees has done all the legwork, hasn't he? He's worked tirelessly up front, a very intelligent player, and again one final positive substitution from both teams. So now they've all thrown their played their cards, thrown their hats in the ring. Now we're just going to play it out for the last 9-10 minutes and see if one of these teams can take all 3 points.
McInerney with 3 goals and 1 assist on the season so far, the playmaker in the midfield. Another attacking change for Coach Rennie. This time the attack's on for the Battery. It's O'Brien Woodbine in the midfield, out wide to Van Schaik. Tula Guerra, Woodbine and Wild making their way into the attack, but he goes to Anunga, just runs out of ground. Another example of Brian Anunga getting into the attack. Yeah,
he'll be very annoyed there. He's made a great run, and it's a long run as well. And Van Schaik's just got a little bit sloppy with the pass. It was the right pass, just technically not quite right. He's overhit it a little bit. And that was a very promising position for the home team. So we're going to the last few, 8-9 minutes now. The game's definitely there to be won. One of the teams is going to be bold and try and go for all 3 points. And I'm sure the Battery sort of want to try and get that win because they've had a lot of draws. And it's amazing those extra 2 points will be vital come the end of the season.
Well, these two teams split points last time they met. And that 3-3 thriller we were talking about in the first half. And now it is all evens here in the 83rd minute. You see Nico Rittmeyer just trying to slow the pace of the game down. Ioze was looking to get the ball back underway. And that's been another aspect of tonight's game. Both teams have wanted to keep the ball rolling and look for the quick option.
Yeah, the referee here's given a free kick here now because the ball didn't go out. And I think the coaching staff have caused the problem there. They thought the ball had gone out. The referee's done it. One of the players then picked it up, and now we end up with a free kick with one of the players, Ioze, who's a real talented player and something the Battery didn't really expect.
It's Ioze over the ball. A flighted ball into the box. Bounces out to the top. Hackshaw's there. Finds Anunga. Now the counter-attack at the other end of the field could be on. It's Van Shake to Gordon Wild. The Battery fans getting behind them. He's got a Tulagera with him. Can he get the strike away? Yes, he can! The crowd's gone wild. Gordon Wild scores his second goal of the night. 2-1 Charleston Battery.
And there you go. The Battery show exactly what they're all about. They've soaked up that pressure. Ball got played in. Gordon Wiles, he's took his time here. He's got his confidence just to face the defender up 1v1, and he hits a clinical strike into the far corner. Shows everything what he's about. But it was the fast break that led to the goal. You know, we were talking about an unjust free kick in the leading up to that goal. They both very quickly. Gordon Wiles has said he's got a sweet left foot. Goes out wide. He hits it far and low into the far corner. And again, giving the Battery a lead again, probably against the run of play now, because you know they've been under the cosh a little bit more this second half. But quality always comes through.
Another fantastic finish for Gordon Wild, his 6th goal of the season. Of course, all Charleston Battery goals brought to you by Baker Roofing. And now, Derek, we've got a game on our hands for the last 5 minutes of the match. Charleston Battery 2, Indy 11-1.
And because of the previous game between these two teams, you know, no one's going to be leaving tonight. You know, there was plenty of goals in the last couple of minutes in the first meeting, so there'll be no empty seats now. Everyone will be staying to see how it is. Now the referee there's given a free kick here, which, you know, the crowd are not happy about. Again, you know, Iosi with his delivery, it's in a great position, and it will be interesting to see now how the Battery defend this one.
Just saw on your screens there. Difficult one to call from our view, but it's Iosi over the dead ball. Numbers in the box. The referee just having a word in the box. There's a bit of pushing and shoving going on. Head coach Mike Anhauser on your screens there. It's Iosi into the PK spot, through to the back post, and well defended by the Battery.
Yeah, they'll be relieved there, won't they? Because, you know, they certainly didn't think it was a free kick. You know, Iosi has a great delivery into the box. They had plenty of numbers in there, the Battery, so they'll be pleased about that. And I said it just goes out for a goal kick. And now, as I said, you know, we're coming into this last 5 minutes plus stoppage time. You know, the Battery have got themselves back in front. They've clawed their way back in. 2 great finishes in the game. And now they want to really try and play this out. And I don't think Indy 11 is going to let them get away with that. They're going to really try and fight to get a point, which they think they deserve and what probably their second half performance warrants.
Good ball out the back by Cooper. One in the middle of the park. Van Shake. Out wide to Archer. Big ball forward. Can Tulagera put the pressure on?
That's good play by Guerra, isn't it? You know, he's prepared to run. He's fresh legs as he's come on. He's done very, very well.
And shake across to Anunga. Well, you've got to say, Derek, all of the substitutions made have had an impact in tonight's game.
Oh, for sure. Yes, definitely. Again, that's the great thing about this league, that, you know, the coaches are very, very positive in how they make their changes. As I said, they go for the results, and the crowd get a real chance to see good, positive players coming on late in the game when other players are tired. So, yeah, it all bodes well for the game.
Out of the back from Matten, driving it forward in the centre of the park. Finds Moses. Woodbine tracks back. Hackshaw's tucked in, not taking any chances this time from the Battery back line.
Yeah, and that's been a good battle all night. And again, Hackshaw comes out on top there, doesn't he? You know, Moses has done very, very well coming forward. He's a great defender. And, you know, that battle he's had with Hackshaw has been one that we've been watching most of the night. So now we get to that stage of the game where the result is there, and now it's the Battery just shut up shop and keep what they got. And have Indy got enough power and energy now to come and see if they can muster up one more chance to get themselves back on level terms.
Well, both teams will play again this weekend. The Charleston Battery will be back here at MUSC Health Stadium to take on current reigning USL champions Louisville City FC. You can get your tickets right now at charlestonbattery.com. But right now, another set-piece opportunity for the home side. Looks like it's going to be Jared Van Shake.
Although that game's not in the minds of the players now, you know, going into that game with a victory, is so much different than going in with a draw. And I think that the Battery will be very, very pleased to get a good win tonight at home to go into that Louisville game, and really full of confidence and give the champions a real run for their money.
You can see the Battery just now hoping to keep Indy pinned in their own half in this late going. Just under a minute left to play of regulation. So Indy pushing forward. Iose worked out the back. Mitchell leads Moses forward. There's a dangerous attack we've been talking about. Heads away by Mueller. Recycled into the middle. Well, I'm hearing there's going to be 4 minutes of added time, Derek. And that's going to feel like a lifetime to some of these players out there.
Yep, I think if you're the away coach, Mr. Rennie, you're thinking, great, we know we can muster up maybe one and maybe a second chance. If you're Mike Anhauser, you're thinking, where did that come from? So, as I said, you know, there's a big crowd in here tonight. Everyone's looking forward, so they'll get another 4 minutes of good entertaining soccer. And as I said, because of what happened in the last game, you know, no one's going to be leaving.
On the far side, Indy breaking their way through. And Hackshaw and Mueller do just enough to keep them out. You can see Coach Rennie on your screens there. The first manager for Indy 11 for this expansion side in the USL. Has previously managed the Carolina Railhawks and Vancouver Whitecaps. And most recently overseas in Korea. Additional Cooper to get us back underway. The referee telling him to get on with it. So lofty ball forward into the middle of the park. Van Schaik with the second and third ball. Lofty clearance from Rittmeyer, and O'Brien Woodbine shows his fresh legs.
He's a real serious player, and he's a very senior player. So O'Brien Woodbine, you know, he knows how to do it. It's a great run there by Van Schaik as well there. So looking at the overall game, you know, you'd think on the first half performance, the Battery definitely, you know, were in front. Indy's come out this second half and give it a real go, and then probably just against the run of play, the Battery's got themselves back in front with a great finish. And overall in the game, you'd probably say just a fair result there, because the Battery were so much more dominant in that first half.
Now the Battery looking for a chance of another attack. It's Gordon Wild wins the throw-in on this near side. Whitmire jogs up to take the Battery, of course, in no rush.
They've just got to run the clock down now, haven't they? And, you know, use all their gamesmanship that they've been taught over the years, just to keep the ball in the final third. They don't need another goal.
The referee waves play on. Sarikov into the middle of the park. Moses at the back.
He's been probably their star player, I think, Moses. For me, he's done great defensively. He's really added value to the attack, and you know, he's been a real asset to his team tonight.
Iose looking to pick the pass, looking for Sarikov.
And for someone that we picked out at the start of the game, the Battery have done a great job of keeping Iose at bay. I mean, he's had one free kick opportunity which he never took. You know, his delivery is great, but the one thing they've definitely learnt, the Battery, from the first game is keeping him as far away from their goal with set pieces as he can. And, you know, that may be the difference between the two sides tonight eventually.
Cooper looking for Guerra. One in the middle by Sandberger.
I'm sure Mike Anhauser making 7 changes with the performance he's had from start to finish. He'll take that. You know, it shows a good strength of his squad.
And now Van Schaik into Gordon Wild. Can he make it 3? Good Good save from Von Williams, and Gordon Wild is still knocking at the door in the 93rd minute.
Yeah, great save here, great run. He's done everything. He's done everything right, hasn't he? There, Gordon Wild. He's hit the target both times. He probably, you know, for him to get a hat trick would have been great for him individually because he's worked hard. He's had 2 fantastic finishes, and that would have been a real nice one. That would have been the icing on the cake for him individually and for the club as well.
Hear the fans getting behind the Battery in this late going. Looking to keep it in the far side, just ran out of bounds from O'Brien Woodbine.
And they're almost there. They're almost there now. The referee's looking at his watch. I think once this goalkeeper kicks it, that should be it. There you go.
You called it, Derek. That's the final whistle here at MUSC Health Stadium. The Battery take 3 points from Indy 11 to 1. You see the Battery fans celebrating in the stands behind us. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll take a look at the highlights from tonight's game and have the post-game chat. We'll see you in a few. Welcome back to MUSC Health Stadium. It's full time here. The Charleston Battery beating Indy 11 to 1. All smiles from the Battery player, and there's the goal scorer for both goals, Gordon Wild. Let's take a look at tonight's highlights presented by Baker Roofing.
Well, here we go. Here's the first goal here. Gordon Wild takes up a great position just on the edge of the box, shifts it onto his left foot and makes a great, an almost unstoppable shot into the far corner for his first goal. I think he needs to work on his celebration a bit, but a fantastic strike as it is.
Some shaky knees there, and here's the second goal, a fantastic chip past Additional Cooper, and Starikov put them back on the board.
Yeah, again, it was a great intelligent position that he done, but this is the match winner here. Gordon Wild makes a really intelligent run, faces Moses up one-on-one, shifts it to his strongest foot and does a great shot into the far corner for a great goal, which deserves to win any game.
Well, there you can see it, the goal scorer. That's all we have time here for from MUSC Health Stadium. On behalf of Poppy Miller, Derek Brawley and the entire broadcast group, we'll see you next time.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.